feel like I could have gotten like 10 different quotes from him. He's so quotable. Michael.
Yeah.
Tyson.
No.
Not that.
Not Mike Tyson.
I mean, Mike Tyson said it's always good to have a plan. Everybody to get punched in the face. So I mean, he is quotable. I just meant
also quotable.
Different Tyson maybe.
Yeah, what was his name? I don't remember. I actually have. I think I've made my way through most of them. The only ones that I haven't seen are like season 3 when they were in the middle of like coronavirus, and so they were talking about some stuff, which I just don't need to relive.
Right. Don't relive that.
Happy Friday, everybody! Happy Friday!
Friday.
Here we are. We made it back to Friday. We are going to miss next Friday with you because you're going on a family vacation
tomorrow morning.
But I reached out to Audrey Wozni of River Lane Photography because you and I had talked about discussing the topics of like doing things that scare you. And she has moved her studio to High Street and is doing boudoir photography.
Yeah.
Which scares me. So
I'm kind of like, darn, I'm missing that one. Bummer.
I can't wait
I'm
to
not
talk
sure
to her.
It would come out of my mouth either. Because I don't know.
Right? Well, the first thing I thought of when I was talking to her about it the other day at Joey Garvin's 40th pool party, birthday, was kudos to her for like creating a space where people feel safe enough to do something like that. Because I feel like that says a lot.
Huge.
So.
Yeah. And, I mean, without a doubt.
We'll miss you next week, but we'll be having an interesting conversation.
We'll be watching.
Yeah?
I'll be a viewer.
Ooh!
I will be a viewer next week.
So I did actually look it up. We've had 3 videos, and in total we have over 600 views.
Wow.
So, right, like that's whatever. Cool. We haven't really done anything to share this, or I don't even talk about it. I realized maybe I should even post about it in our Heirloom Community Facebook group, but we're having fun with that. I'm having fun with that. I appreciate you.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
We are curious if anybody has any suggested topics that they would want us to talk about. We have been using like member messages that we've received to have kind of general topics that we talk about.
Right.
But curious if anybody has anything in particular that we should discuss.
I'd be very curious to see if people provide some ideas. Care. I mean, if 600 views, if like 400 of them are like Danielle, Matt, and Jason, I'm gonna be mad. And my mom.
Yeah.
Is my mom a viewer? She might be.
No, I don't know if she is. Jason's on there now. Biggest fan. I agree. Jason Scott. Yes.
Do we have a giveaway today?
We don't have any prizes.
We've got some heirloom
movie night. You can come to movie night.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
I was gonna give away some of Karen's.
What's over there? The broom and
wouldn't be mine.
The dustpan.
We have a dustpan and a stand.
We don't do prizes.
Camera stand.
We don't do prizes.
We don't do prizes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we had some stuff happen that was, I mean, with field day and some stuff that like went down.
So tell me this was your first field day. We had an event. This was one of our second annuals.
Yes.
Because like even Burke was our second, but it was our first here.
Right.
This is the first thing that we really did for the second year in a row, kind of the same sort of model where we did 3 events, team events, inclusive of all.
Definitely.
Ended in the pool party, barbecue, sleepover.
Definitely.
You missed last year.
I did.
You made it this year.
I did.
What'd you think?
Well, barring life happening, I will not miss another one. You know, I can't say I won't because you never know. But that's why my first request post field day was when is next year?
Yeah.
Because I want it on the schedule so that I don't miss it.
Jason, when is next year?
Right.
Yeah, so huge thank you to Patty and Doug Scott, Jason and Casey Scott, Walnut Hill Farms in Hurlock. That's our backdrop, and I think it's kind of become part of the whole experience because Jason is a farmer. We do like farm-themed things, and it's very adult field day-esque. We had an obstacle course.
Yeah, we're using bags of seed and bins and...
Did you wash your shirt? Did the green stuff come out of your shirt?
It's tie-dye. It's green.
By your shirt, I mean Thomas's shirt.
Well, now it's mine. So
You didn't want it back.
You know, like, it's funny that I said before that I was going to stain it in green and brown, and it would look tie-dye, joking, and I stained it in green at least. So
You should add some gold to it, and it would be Notre Dame.
so creative. I have glitter. Just kidding. I don't have glitter. Don't judge me. I might have glitter. I don't even.
Probably do.
It wouldn't surprise anybody if I did. So whatever. Just stop. So field day was a success.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I had a moment in the pool just in the afternoon where you just kind of, I was looking around. I wasn't really engaged in conversation with anybody, but there's all kinds of different pockets of conversations, and everybody seemed to be having their own good time, like in their own way. It was just a really like chill. Like
Yes.
you could turn around and talk to anybody about anything and have a really good time, and then you're turning around and you're in a totally different conversation with somebody else from some total other experience of life, but it's all just awesome.
And that kept moving.
Yeah.
Right? So like there was never like a specific group of people that just were together all day. Like there was just this moving in and out of the pool and around the pool and by the food and.
Yeah, I feel like in hindsight, the only people I feel like I didn't really get a chance to talk to are Angie and Chris, two of our coaches. I might have been avoiding them. I don't know. I don't think subconsciously.
Subconsciously.
I talked to everybody I wanted to talk to. No, I'm just kidding.
People are going to be watching this.
I love you,
Did they
Chris
talk
and
to
Angie.
me?
I did. Yeah.
But it was fun.
It
So
was
looking
fun.
forward to it, and I would highly encourage. It was totally, as participation goes, for anybody and everybody.
Did you have a favorite workout?
No, I didn't have a favorite. I have the one that I want Orange Crush to redo the second workout.
Oh, with the better strategy.
We just didn't plan well. We could have, and that was my fault.
So shout out to Orange Crush. Who's on Team Orange Crush?
Orange Crush is Yvonne, Lynn, Katie T, Jason, and myself.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, solid team. Had a blast right out of the gates.
Nice.
Yeah, but we just, it was one of those, like, I was like, I'll run. And everybody was like, yeah, you run.
You're the runner.
And I was on lap 2, and I'm like,
I'm dying.
Shit.
I really don't want to run anymore.
like everybody else got their work done, and I'm just,
Like I got
don't mind
8
me.
laps to go.
I'm going to get there, guys.
It's just going to be over here running.
Yeah, just bad planning.
Yeah.
So, but no, I didn't have, I loved how each of them were different in feel.
Yeah.
And even in challenge, I felt like the first one was very much kind of more fun.
Mhm.
The second one was more endurance, and the third one was just get after it because it's going to be over quick and you'll be in the pool. So they had just different feels to them.
Were you one of your teammates that wore a baby?
I did. Yep, which was if you don't know, it was a 10-pound bag of seed that was saran wrapped to me.
They don't know. These are people that are tuning in from around the world.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Should I say it in Spanish also? I can't, Yvonne. I'm sorry. I can't. I'll brutalize it. Yeah. But yeah, so the baby idea was great. We kept reusing some things, like we used the bags of seed in the first workout. And then in the second workout, they became, in some instances you were carrying them, but sometimes each team had to have 2 pregnant people. Didn't matter. And that was interesting to see who ended up pregnant too.
I agree.
I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
And then when I went to do my first burpee, I was glad I was pregnant.
Yeah.
I was like, I had to save that much depth.
Yeah, no push-up burpee in it.
Yeah. But
And we actually had a real pregnant lady there.
we did. We didn't laugh at the pregnancy
She
jokes
did,
as
and
much.
she opted not into the extra baby.
Right. Which
Yeah.
was selfish, but that's fine.
Seemed reasonable, I was gonna say, but
Or that.
yeah. And the other big baby news is that Wilder Roche made his heirloom debut.
No, I
last
wanted to
night.
meet him.
1 month old exactly. Yesterday I posted a picture on our Instagram.
Check it out.
Yep, that was fun to see that.
Yeah, I've been waiting to see Casey. I'm super excited.
He's really long
Is he?
and thin with long, he looks adorable, just like
Genetics.
his parents. I know.
They do things like that.
Yep. Yeah,
Very cool. Healthy baby.
I know. One other thing that I wanted to tell everybody that we didn't discuss after the fact was we had our 5K for the Pups for Patriots to benefit American Humane, and we ended up raising over $1,500, which was pretty cool. So we're excited about that.
Emily said we won. Like we were the highest raiser, which
until now, if you look on their website, they have their fundraiser, I think, open through like September or something like that. But we'll go with we won.
Well, we won. I mean, when we did it, we had the most, so we won.
Winners.
Winner, chicken dinner. That was a fun event. We should keep that one going.
Yeah.
It was nice to bring back the Murph shirts for 4th of July.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And it was well attended, and the social afterwards was fun. And yeah, I like that one.
Yep. So I have a member message I was going to read to you.
Throw it at
Which brings us to a topic of the day. Where is this message?
Oh, do you want me to pull
No, I got it. I can pull it up. Yeah. One of the things that I thought of, it kind of ties in back to field day for 1 second, was one of the things that I'm really appreciative of is that we are actually like grown adults that have some sense of accountability, because it's not an absolute pigsty in the morning. Like the cleaning up process is very manageable. Everybody kind of cleans up after themselves. It's not like college where you don't care if you trash somebody else's apartment.
Now note, as you're saying that, Jason just posted a picture of my sunglasses.
Are they yours?
They're mine. I stepped on them.
Shoot.
Yeah, that was one of those, like I said, I'm going to put these here, just don't step on them. And then 5 minutes later, stepped on them.
You should know when you say that, that's what's going to happen.
But I also, when deciding which sunglasses to wear, knowing my behavior with adult beverages, was like, which ones, if I were to, would I not be devastated? And it was those. So.
Can I tell you what I did? I washed mine. Not really, because now they're just all scratchy.
Oh, because of everything else that was in there. Yeah. So you pretty much ruined them.
Mine made it home.
Right. Right. So close. So close. But yeah, generally speaking, everything was pretty well taken care of in the morning.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
So the message, this is from a member, and it happens to be a friend. Outside of this, someone I can,
Okay.
So the message is that it starts out by saying that they're going to confirm participation in something else, and then it follows it up with saying, also, I'm getting my shit together after vacation. Feel free to hold me accountable. I have a complicated relationship with accountability, I think. I think holding other people accountable is extraordinarily hard.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on?
Well, I think it's also like it's courageous to put it out there.
Yes.
One, because you and I have done this where we've helped each other. But like, there's the courage of like saying, hey, will you help me? Keep me accountable, which is amazing. But then when you're the one that's tasked with that, that also can be a little, I don't know if it's overwhelming or intimidating or I don't know what, but yeah, there's a lot.
Well, I think for Heirloom, it's a really fine line, because how I communicate and interact with my close friends that also happen to be members can be considered accountability, but individual accountability is not included with your general membership.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Correct. That's an additional fee.
There's an asterisk on that on the website.
Yeah. You gotta pay a little extra for that.
Well, because we do a lot of checking up and following in, and we communicate a lot as coaches about like, hey, if you see so-and-so or, so-and-so maybe appreciate being reached out to. But if it were to need to be the only thing that gets you into class, I think that's when it becomes problematic.
Without a doubt. Yeah. And what I found is like, I try to, as a coach, take the whole class, obviously, in their needs, but I get pulled towards the one that wants the account, the one that I know is looking for it. I don't want to let them down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then as the coach, where they're like, hey, make sure, like Sarah Robinson.
Yeah.
So like, can you watch my form?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to.
Yes.
So then I tend to like pay more attention.
Yes.
And then, some members that maybe just kind of come in and they move and groove and leave.
Yeah.
I sometimes miss.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things and even in cross country, I do that same thing. The runners that seem to kind of gravitate towards, I go towards.
Yeah.
And the runners that just kind of show up and run and then.
Because it is a real thing that not and Joel's mentioned this to me before when we were talking about when you're like just getting started and who's going to be the right fit for a member here. And the reality is that not everybody is ready to be held accountable.
No.
And some of that we have to figure out on the fly. Because I think some people, if you go through the step of joining a gym, we're not cheap. You sign up, you pursue, or everything that goes against any of your intimidation factor about coming and get yourself in here. You're signed up, you're in class. Mm-hmm. That doesn't even necessarily mean that you want the eyes on you that we have on you.
Correct.
To
correct.
Keep at it. And I think we've had every array on the spectrum, right?
The extremes.
And that's how, yay, humans.
Well, without a doubt. And we've even learned, as hard as we've tried, it just wasn't a fit, right? Like for some people, it just.
Well, I mean, that's where I come back to, I can't be your accountability.
Correct.
And so that brings me to how then do you keep yourself accountable, or how do you help keep your friends accountable? And so I think some of that, again, there's this gray area between me as the person and then Heirloom as the business. Mm-hmm. But like you and I have been very good friends for a very long time. And a couple of years ago, you contacted me and asked me, I don't even remember when it was that you asked, but then was the contract my idea?
Mm-hmm.
So when you contacted me, you were looking for accountability.
Yeah.
You were looking for.
It was during the open.
Okay.
And I said, I'm just drinking too much.
Okay.
And I need you to help me chill out.
Okay.
And then you thought about it for a while. You were like, well, like I remember you were like, okay. She's like, well, let me think about it.
Yeah.
And come up with something. And but yeah, that was just two friends. That was me reaching out to you as a friend.
But I thought that worked for us. So
that was immensely successful.
We wrote a contract, mm-hmm. and we had consequences.
Oh, and we made them severe.
And the deal was that we had to come up with our own consequences, and it would legitimately be something that we didn't want to do, mm-hmm. and that we were good enough to our word, that we cared enough about each other to commit to that and follow through on that if we reneged on the contract.
Correct.
Because that's also where I think some people's self-accountability falls off the rails, is you're not in a position where you actually trust yourself because you've continually lied to yourself about the things that you are going to be accountable to.
Right. And you may vocalize, it may sound really good coming out, but inside it's not, it's not there. It's white train, if you will. I will say, coming back to kind of accountability and the idea of like a member saying, hey, Kara, really help me get to class. Well, but I've also watched like Danielle and Gabby. So member to member, I totally think is a great idea, right? Friend to friend is, I like that idea, but like expecting the coaches, to be your accountability. Yeah. That's a tough task when you think about the amount of classes that we're coaching and the amount of people that we're coming in contact with. But when members do that, and I've heard other conversations with other people where it's like, hey, you're going to be here last Friday, Matt and Jason, they wanted a front squat. Yeah. And they were like, I'll be here if you're going to be here. 5:30. That kind of stuff I think is very healthy way of helping.
I agree. And honestly, that's how I sustained such a habit in Aruba, was that I enjoyed the training partners that I was training with, and we just had a commitment that we were going to meet each other there every day. Right. And there wasn't like a legitimate intention just to become really fit. But when you go into that environment and when you're with people that you like being with and you're naturally a little bit competitive and you're always just trying to like work harder than the guy next to you, that's kind of the happy byproduct.
Right.
And I feel like that's when I was just talking to somebody the other day who is, you know, finding himself in Cambridge more, lives on the other side of the bridge, but may come in, has some intimidation factor about CrossFit as people do. But we talked, you know, I tried to express, we really are just trying to get people to sustain the healthy habit of 4 to 6 days a week of activity. You just need to get here.
Right.
And then we do everything we can to make that time that you're here the best and most effective use of your time.
Just get in the door.
Just get in the door.
Just get in the door.
Yeah.
And I've heard members say that. I just got here. And they were, and you kind of see in their face. Hey,
Yeah.
you see in their face, like, you got me, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Are you live?
We are.
I'm just dropping off stuff.
Ooh.
I would like to keep this in the kitchen because it's low Debbie pan. I don't want it to get too hot.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yes, please.
No
Yes,
problem.
please.
I'll put it in the book.
Yeah.
Put it in the toy chest over there, and, you know, we'll just see what happens.
Just a quick plug.
Ooh, hey, girl.
If you need a vaccine, I'll be at Poplar Street from 4 to 6. So come
I
see
love
me.
Yes, where on Poplar? Just outside?
Outside,
Is it shots and shots or sips and shots?
Say that.
It's Sip and Savor series. If you come, you get
Shots and
a.
shots. Shots.
Well, in Colorado, they're doing Coke and Toast.
Yes, I did hear that.
But no, it's you get a free glass of sparkling wine or either a cookie or a free cup of coffee from Blackwater. The wine's from Vintage
I
414.
like that, because not everybody drinks alcohol, say.
Right, like you can get a cookie or some coffee. Yeah, so
All
I'll be
right.
back at 6.
Well, thank you for serving the community.
Taking care of the community, literally.
For movie night. I think we're doing Indian movie night. Not your favorite.
Not my favorite.
Talk
I've
about
tried it twice, but anyway.
So another way to keep accountable for, I think this is a strategy that I employed a lot when I was a member, was the minute I reserved my spot in class, I knew I was going to go. And so we use an app, a system called Wodify. So we're going to call this our word of the day, word of the week, Wodify. What is Wodify, Sean?
Wodify, a lot of different things. So it depends who you ask. You're asking me as a coach, let's say. So as a coach, Wodify is my way of knowing who's going to be coming to my class that I'm coaching.
Yep.
So that I can have a game plan depending on their abilities and goals that, you know, I like to feel the vibe of the class by who is reserved,
Yeah.
knowing kind of what we're going to be doing. So as a coach, it shows me the workout and it shows me who's attending so that I can have a plan for that. As an athlete, it shows me the workout and then it's where I put in all my information so that I can be informed of my own performance next time, which we didn't use it like that previously at the previous gym.
And how do you know that for sure?
Because it'll be a repeat workout and I'll be like, oh, I need to know how
I've
I
done this
did.
one.
And
I
it'll say
remember.
11:15 scaled.
What does that mean to you today?
Shit. Absolutely nothing. I mean, I got a time to beat, which
Yeah.
is great, but I mean, now I'm like, you know, rep schemes and like I put in all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff in there now.
Well, we can't emphasize enough, because I find myself talking to a lot of people about this who don't know exactly what we do, is that the way that we encourage people to approach a workout, I think, is non-traditional, in that the only thing that's important is that you take our guidelines on the board, focus on what our goal time is, and then you need to figure out the movement, rep scheme, and modifications that you feel like you can keep within that goal.
Correct.
So you'll come into a class with 15 people and there will be 15 different variations of kind of the same workout.
Yep.
But so that's where it's important that you write it in, because your score of 11:59 and my score of 12:15, even if they both say scaled or whatever, you may have done dumbbells or a barbell, or did you do 40 pounds or 50 pounds, or did you do the hang clean or the full squat clean, or like,
Matters.
yeah, it all matters.
Matters.
And I think that willingness to make it work in the day is key. And then the information from that day that can help us learn and grow as we develop is also key. So that, I think.
Now, if you were to ask Sue what Wodify was, she would say a pain in the ass.
I know.
But that's the lady behind the curtain trying to figure out data and that.
I ask her to do a lot of things outside of her comfort zone. I adore her.
She's not a big fan of or Wodify.
I know, right?
In their structure and setup.
Those are the big things.
And that's what she does.
She's learned that.
She's, bless her heart. I've heard the meditation.
Thank you, Sue. Yeah.
But yeah, I do like if you remember and you haven't updated to Wodify client, do it.
That's a good point.
Here's what I love the most about it. There's a lot of things that are great about it, but when you go to history in the old Wodify, it has every possible workout ever done on face of the earth, I feel. The new Wodify client are only the ones of those that you have done. So it's your event history only. So if you've not run a 1 mile for time,
I gotcha.
It doesn't show up on yours. It'll show up on, I've done it, so it'll show up on mine, but it wouldn't show up on yours. So it clears up the minutia of like, where am I going to? You know, so like if you did 3 of the 5 open workouts, only those 3 are there. So
I gotcha.
But anyway. But yeah, I like the new platform. I think it's a lot more user friendly. It does show you who's coming to class, which a lot of people always wondered that. And I was usually using my laptop, which I could see it through the laptop. But the app wouldn't. But now you can see it. And I think that
I like that.
Influences people's decisions.
I really do think you can use, as a member, you can use Wodify as an accountability tool because it really is, which I love because we went through this stage where we had really limited classes when we were coming back from COVID. And so everybody, you know, to your credit, signed up. Nobody signed up until they were sure they were going to come to class because nobody wanted to steal another spot from somebody else. But now we're still in that habit of signing up really late. And I think then that becomes an out. Like if you haven't actually reserved your spot in class yet, nobody knows you were even thinking of coming. So now you can just, you know, end up down the street on Waller Street and nobody knows. But if you like the minute you have the urge to come to a class, reserve your spot in that class and then use it as your accountability partner, I think there is some legitimacy to that.
The other thing it does is it shows you how many classes you attended in the month.
Yeah.
Which is nice because sometimes you kind of lose track, life happens, and you're like, oh, I was going to go Monday, but then I didn't, and then Tuesday, and I got there Wednesday, but then, and you only actually went to 1 class that week. So like when you see your number for the month and it says like 7, you're like, ooh, I actually didn't get to the gym as much as I thought I did.
Yeah.
You know? So another way that it could be used for, like you could set a goal of a number you want to hit instead of per week, just per month.
Yep. So that's actually a really good segue into the next thing, which is not even planned. So I just wanted.
We're getting better.
Congratulations.
It's just happening, right?
I had an idea.
Sure.
Because we are doing our 1 mile retest September 1st. It's a Wednesday. Yes. So the running feedback is like hands down phenomenal. And basically everybody's feedback is, I love it, but I'm not really sure why.
Everybody's befuddled.
Everybody is confused about it.
They're confused.
Yeah.
And they keep showing.
And everybody loves it. But so I watched a podcast a long time ago, and I actually sent this podcast to a couple of friends back in the day when this came out. This would have been like before we moved back when I was still living in Aruba. Ben Bergeron podcast. And he was talking about habits. And his kind of hook that he hangs his hat on is to go with the theory of don't break the chain. Okay. So if you have a habit that you either want to create or you want to break, then you just like you start with today. And what is that habit that you're either going to sustain or going to stop doing? And I think replace maybe with another one.
Okay.
But so, and then it's just, okay, so then that's day one. And then your chain is as long as your days are. So what about like in August, don't break the chain challenge? So it would be from August 2nd, which is a Monday, through August 31st, which is a Tuesday. So it's pretty much exactly 4 weeks.
Mhm.
It ends with our mile, and anybody, you don't even have to be a member, but pick something that you are going to commit to sticking with, either doing or not doing. Don't break the chain.
Don't break the chain.
Don't break the chain.
I like that.
It simplifies
I
it.
know what I'll do.
I know, I've been trying to think. And then I think it does get complicated because, you know, there's a lot of discussion around like you are what you repeatedly do, and it's not like you are what you sometimes do. But I don't think that anybody needs to be exercising 7 days a week.
No.
You know what I mean?
No,
So
that's not.
figuring out what that is it, you know, are you committing to moving maybe
Right.
30 minutes a day for 4 days a week?
Well, and so my brain is just
Yeah.
spinning. But I'm
Okay.
thinking of me, I'm thinking of members, I'm thinking of like people that keep saying they need to work on their mobility. Could you imagine 28 days of just mobility?
Like 10 minutes of mobility.
Maybe like Gumby.
28 days of 10 minutes of mobility.
Game
I
changer.
feel like we should just do that as a gym.
Or stretching, or then I think nutrition, right? Like
Yes.
water. I'm gonna drink,
Sleep.
more water. I'm gonna get 8 hours of, oh my goodness.
Journal.
Could you imagine 28 days of 8 hours or more of sleep?
Well, so
Or whatever that is.
No, I know. Yes. Well, because I love my sleep, but I'm in the 8 hours in bed every night, but not 8 hours of sleep. So I feel like
That's
I've got to
cheating.
be in. Is it? So
I don't
have
know
to be in bed.
Well-
but I don't have a tracker for one. So how
Right.
else do I track from when I last checked my phone to make sure my alarm's on, and it tells me then your alarm's going to go off in 8 hours and 47 minutes or whatever.
Well, then you're still getting 8 hours of sleep. But you don't go to bed then.
I don't fall immediately asleep though.
Are you doing other things?
No.
You just lay there.
Yeah.
Okay. So it takes
I'm
you a
not
while
one
to fall
that
asleep.
sleeps through the night for some reason. Yeah. It depends on the night.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I do get up usually
Do you
once a
sleep all
night.
the way through the night?
No,
Do you
Not like
fall
I used
asleep
to.
right away?
not, yes. Sue hates it.
Oh my God, it's the most.
Oh, like as soon as my head is, like, because I get annoyed on that rare night where I don't fall asleep right away, and I'm like, oh my God, I have insomnia. Like, no, you idiot, it's been 5 minutes. Calm down. Just turn the light off in the hallway, probably, and then, like, there's some reason I'm not sleeping.
Yeah.
It's rare that my brain keeps me up. I got to be really excited for something that's happening or like when we were doing the projects around the house and I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do something, then maybe, but
Yeah.
usually the average is, for me, is pretty quick falls. The average
But I
person
think
actually
that
falls
would
asleep
be,
in 5 minutes.
I think that would be a good one for a lot of people. I think there's a lot, even like reading one chapter a day.
That's another one.
Isn't that a good one?
I need that.
I think I need that.
I've
I
been
haven't
wanting to
actually, me too. I haven't read in a while. I have so many that I want to do, but then I think this is a great insight to this is where a lot of people get hung up because it's like, where do you start? But the only way to not do it right is if you don't start at all, right? You can't pick a wrong thing.
No.
As long as it's something that's moving that ticker a little bit closer to where you're trying to go in the long run. We're not going to pick all the things.
No, that's a horrible
It's
idea.
a one thing, right? You
Yeah.
go all in on the one thing and kind of what is, I think a couple ways to look at it is what's the lowest hanging fruit? Like what are you most motivated by right now? Like maybe reading a chapter isn't going to have the biggest impact on my health, but is it the one that I can actually get my brain around and I might actually really do? And then I've built trust with myself that I'm going to follow through on this thing that I said, it doesn't have to be like, I'm going to eat 3 cups of vegetables 3 meals a day.
Because I mean, I would like to think the plan would be that when you get to August 31st, you just keep doing it, right? You just keep doing it.
That's right.
So I agree with the low-hanging fruit idea where you want to get that thing that you really want
start
to
with
do.
the easy win.
The reading one really hurt me. I want to read more. Just don't have time for it. I read a lot in the hospital at Sue, and I loved it, but there was nothing else to do.
Right.
And I would still pick up my phone and check it, which was stupid. I'd read like 5 pages and be like, oh, I hate cell phones. That's cool. We should have a vote. I hate cell phones. But anyway,
That is an interesting conversation, I think.
write that down. Put that down. We have that. We're going to
Well, I
podcast
think-
about cell phones. Just the impact on our lives that we don't recognize. Like how much we miss because of that device.
Well, just how to make, I think it's uber important figuring out your relationship with your phone, which sounds silly to say out loud.
Have self-awareness of your relationship with your phone. Because a lot of people don't realize
Yeah,
how much it controls them.
and, yeah. Can I just say that that was actually something that I looked a lot into when I was in the process of starting this? Because I do think it can easily become a time suck. And one of the most valuable things that I listened to was somebody that said that you have to curate your feeds that you see online. And I can't even tell you how many accounts that I ended up like unfollowing and just how much I like whittled it down. You know, it's like, do I see your account? Does it make me happy? No, delete. But
I need to do that.
does it, make me feel insecure? Yes, delete. Does it make me feel inadequate? Yes, delete. Like, just why am I choosing to? And it was like, I was hundreds of pounds lighter. It was amazing just to actually curate the things that you want to see, and then have the wherewithal to know when you're just wasting time.
Yeah.
But it's such an easy stuff. Anyway.
So,
Yeah. So one other note that I had, just because I posted about this yesterday, we have an opportunity to potentially host the Festivus Games, which the Festivus Games are a CrossFit competition, CrossFit style competition for novice, intermediate, and masters. And a competition, even though it is like a short-term goal, it is one way to kind of set yourself up for success if you are trying to get started with accountability. Like we have members who like to talk to us about their goals and maybe just want to run more, but it's one thing to be like, I'm just going to go run. Like, why are you running? The suggestion was, why don't you look for a race in the fall or something that you might want to participate in, that yet then you feel like you're working towards something and there's like legitimate pursuit.
that's totally me.
It makes a
Even in
difference.
running.
And you're a runner.
And I'm a runner.
Yeah.
But I need an event. Because when I
Yeah.
don't want to go out the door,
Yeah.
that gets me out the door.
Yeah.
Because I want to do the event. So yeah, I think that would be great. It'd be a great motivator
Right.
for somebody to be more regular in their attendance.
October 23rd.
Yeah, as soon as you posted that, I looked at my calendar and it sits between 2 weekends that I can't, and I can do it. So I'm super excited. Yeah. So
Yeah, we don't have enough interest yet, but we'll see.
yeah, it seems
Yeah.
we had more the people responding that couldn't.
I know. And would have.
Which is fine to let us know. That's good. We
Yeah.
appreciate that. But everybody else who hasn't said one way or the other.
Yeah.
Answer. Sorry, I got to mess it up.
Answer.
It's a steroid.
What do we have coming up?
I don't know. I'm going on vacation.
You
so,
are going on vacation.
not to be selfish, but like just trying to tell you, like that's where my brain.
Where are you going to leave? What time are you leaving tomorrow?
I think we're shooting for 11. I think we compromised. I think we're leaving at 11. Check-in's at 4. But you gotta go Beltway and 95, which can be a parking lot.
Yes.
So, but we'll see.
Lake Anna?
Again. Yep. So I forgot to tell everybody at 9. I saw Chris and Lisa on their way out and let them know. But yeah, so when you're watching this, you don't see me next week. You're wondering why. But yeah, we don't have any other event. Resurgence tonight, and then other than that,
What are we
we
doing
don't
tonight?
have.
Did you see that they were the #1 movie in the U.S.? And like 10 other countries or something? They were like a handful of countries away from being #1 movie in the world. Amazing.
Amazing. In 2 years. 2
Yep.
plus years. Yeah, Buttery Bros are fun.
Yep.
If you've not watched them, go on YouTube, put in Buttery Bros. They're hilarious.
Before I opened this, I actually tried to get them to come to town.
They went to Aruba, and go figure, where you
What a
were.
small town, right? Small world.
Turns out I was already there. I'm here now.
I tried to go as like their tour guide, but they didn't need me. Javier was all on that. But speaking of Aruba, so we have some new merch. Well, behind you, I don't know, people can't see, we have like 3 tie-dye shirts left. The tie-dye shirts went fast.
The other one's out there.
Yeah, I think there's one tank top and then a dark blue. They're different.
Yeah, 4.
4?
Got 4.
Okay,
Yep.
4 tie-dye shirts left.
That merch.
And then we have this peach flowy tank is a fan favorite. It's super soft. But this design, we have our GPS coordinates, which is super cool. That was Coach Casey's idea, so I like that. This was the first design that we ever put on merch, and we put first edition, so it was nice to kind of have like a 2.0.
Yep.
But then we also have these adorable bracelets, which I don't know if you guys can see, but I gotta show you. So these are made by a friend of mine. Her name is Mia Harms, and she lives in Aruba. I don't even know where my camera is. She's the daughter of my trading partner from Aruba, and she makes these. It's called Bushi Fruit is the name of her business.
Fruit?
Bushi.
I really like bougie fruit though. I mean, I think that could also be something. Anyway, shut up.
That would be out of New Jersey. It's from Aruba. Bushi fruit is actually a fruit. It's a thing. It's like a cactus of some kind or something. Bushi fruit Aruba. Yeah, so I had a friend, Delise, who was here on opening day. She came with her son. She just went to Aruba. And so she brought these back for us. So we're going to sell these in the shop. And I think we talked about this before, but I think there's a big push around to shop local. And the thing that I keep coming back to in my mind is to shop personal. Like shop at businesses and buy things from people that you care about. You know, she's in Aruba and that's not local to here, but she is a young entrepreneur that's doing something that is productive and trying to make something for herself, and is part of a family of people that I adore, so why would I not want to support them? So if you want to support her, you can purchase them here, even though she might not be from Cambridge.
That's okay.
That's all right.
It's like our second home anyway.
Right?
Awesome homes. Hey, speaking
I mean, they might be why we got the world map. So we got the map for our drop-ins. These are all of our drop-ins. We've 2 in Colorado.
check that out.
We've actually had 3 people come from Colorado, but 2 came together. So I just put the 2 on there for the separate visits.
This is fun.
But we were going to get, or I thought of getting a U.S. map, but I felt like we're going to have some international drop-ins at some point. So we need to be a bit available.
I mean, we have them watching. Eventually, they're going to be coming.
The world is watching.
The world's watching.
The world.
They're going to want to be here.
Yeah.
And meet us.
I don't know.
Okay.
But I think
I do have to coach. It's 4:20. Oh, it's 4:20. Smoke them if you got them. Sorry, is that inappropriate?
Yeah. Poke and toke.
I just like the fact that you and I were both like shot and shot. That's what I went with. Is that wrong? Oh, cookie? Sure. Cookies are great too.
I know, right? What if you've already got a vaccination? Can you just do the first
Just show
I just get the cookie.
Show my card, get a cookie. 28 days, don't break the chain. I like it.
Yeah.
We're gonna make that happen.
Don't break the chain.
Don't break the chain. What I said, don't break the chain.
No, I think you said it. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Well, we're gonna miss you on vacation. Have a great time.
I'll see you 2 weeks from today. There you go.
That means you gotta get to class.
Somebody's requesting.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy
Movie
Friday.
night tonight, 7 o'clock.